Jane Austen, the author we love for her witty takes on society, was actually, well, a detective, entangled in smuggling, intrigue, maybe even murder.
It's a fantastic question, isn't it? And that's exactly where we're diving today. We're looking at Stephanie Barron's Jane and the Man of the Cloth.
Right, this historical mystery novel that casts Austen herself as the sleuth. It's quite a premise.
It really is. And for our sources, we've got some reviews. They mostly rave about how Barron just nails Austen's voice, makes it feel authentic, But the main thing, the core of this, is hefty excerpts from the novel itself.
Set in Lyme Regis, 1804, a complex plot brewing there.
Definitely complex and atmospheric.
So our mission today really is to unpack this mystery alongside Jane. We'll follow her as she uses that amazing eye for human nature to sift through clues, size up suspects,
And uncover truths hidden under all that Regency politeness. We want to pull out the key insights, help you see not just the what, but the how Barron builds this whole intricate thing.
Exactly. So let's get into it. How does this all kick off? Jane and Cassandra head to Lyme.
Right, it's late summer 1804. Jane and her sister Cassandra are off for a bit of break, heading to Lyme Regis to escape the Bath heat. They'd been before, liked it. Supposed to be pleasant.
Supposed to be, but it goes wrong fast, doesn't it? This sudden violent storm blows up.
Oh, completely described as indescribable, just fierce. Their carriage, the post-chase, flips over.
And Cassandra gets badly hurt, a serious head injury. She's described as wan and lifeless. Suddenly it's not a holiday, it's a crisis.
Totally. They're desperate, looking for help, and someone points them towards Highdown Grange, Mr. Geoffrey Sidmouth's place.
And Jane's first take on Sidmouth, not exactly Mr. Darcy.
No, far from it. She finds him harsh, his hair all windswept, fierce eyes. She even thinks he's ungentlemanly, which, coming from Austen, is quite something.
And the house itself, the Grange, sort of matches him.
Yeah. Jane notes it reminds her a bit of Steventon, her old home, but it's clearly neglected, lacking in all such delights. It sets an immediate unsettling tone.
Plus, the household feels odd. There's this mysterious woman, Seraphine.
Right? Dressed in sacks, looks angelic, but only speaks French. And the postboy who brought them mentions queer folk at the Grange. It's all a bit off-kilter from the start.
It really feels like Barron is using Jane's observational skills right away, planting these little seeds of unease.
Exactly. It's not just stage setting. It's showing us Jane's method. Even small oddities catch her eye. Though Sidmouth does surprise them, he actually knows some medicine, takes care of Cassandra quite briskly.
Jane's father even guesses he might have been a camp doctor or something.
Right, experience in such matters. But Jane, she still feels uneasy about him, about his mysteries. She clocks his overactive benevolence towards his hounds, his horses, and his hunting. It's a subtle, critical observation.
So these little details, these inconsistencies, they're the starting point. And things escalate quickly. The piece of Lyme is shattered, isn't it?
Completely shattered. Jean's sort of navigating the local scene, and then boom, a body is found. A man named Bill Tibbit, hanged, mutilated right there on the cob.
That famous stone pier in Lyme. Grim discovery. And it becomes the talk of all Lyme, naturally.
You bet. Rumors are flying. Was he one of the Reverend's men? This mysterious smuggling boss everyone whispers about? Did a rival gang get him? Or did the Reverend himself silence him for betrayal?
And there's a detail mentioned. A white flower.
Yes, a white lily found near the body. Seems minor maybe, but it sticks in the mind. It'll be important later.
And this is where Jane the observer becomes Jane the, well, investigator. She realizes something chilling.
She does. She realizes she saw this man, Tibbit, just before. He was hanging around, lounging in the doorway opposite, yelling insults, she thought drunken insults, at Seraphine.
So, a direct link. Tibbit, Seraphine, Sidmouth's household, and anger. Jane's not just listening to gossip now. She has a personal connection, a reason to look closer.
Exactly. And this Reverend, he's like a local legend, a notorious scoundrel, the smuggling chief. But his actual identity, Lyme's greatest secret. Everyone talks about him. Nobody seems to know who he is, or they're scared to say.
So Jane starts moving through Lyme society, gathering impressions, information. Who does she meet?
Well, there's Mrs. Barnwell, an Irish woman, quite bold, theatrical, has a huge house. And she talks openly about the murder, the smugglers, almost like it's just local color.
Interesting. And then Captain Fielding.
Captain Percival Fielding, yes. He's got a limp, but seems quite taken with Jane, a genuine orator. And he becomes a key source of info, especially about Sidmouth.
And there's also Mr. Crawford.
Right, the fossil collector. Seems charming, intellectual at first, but he also knows a surprising amount about the Reverend and the smuggling scene. His sister, Miss Crawford, she's quite sharp-tongued, very critical.
And Captain Fielding starts feeding Jane some pretty worrying details about Sidmouth, doesn't he?
He really does. He clearly dislikes Sidmouth intensely, calls his influence pernicious. He reveals Seraphine Mademoiselle Lefebvre is actually Sidmouth's cousin.
A French royalist refugee.
Exactly. And Fielding says Sidmouth rules her frail life with an iron hand, fears she's entirely abandoned to his power. It paints a much darker picture of Sidmouth's control.
You can feel the tension ratcheting up. There's that scene at the Lyme Assembly.
Oh, right. Sidmouth tries to dance with Jane, but then he sees Captain Fielding, gets visibly disturbed, and just retreats. It screams unresolved conflict between them. Something volatile there.
And Jane's cousin Eliza pipes up, too.
Ah, Eliza de Fouillé. Barron uses her perfectly, this character who always shakes up Austen conventions. She teases Jane, says Sidmouth has piqued her interest despite Jane denying it, points out her reddened cheeks.
And Eliza drops another interesting tidbit.
Yes, that Sidmouth travels to France frequently. Adds another layer to the mystery around him. What's he doing over there?
And just as things are getting really tangled, the plot takes another dark turn.
A huge one. Captain Fielding is murdered, shot through the heart on the road to Charmouth.
So the man who was warning Jane about Sidmouth is now dead. This throws everything into sharp relief and really pushes Jane into the investigation, doesn't it?
It absolutely does, and suspicion immediately falls on Sidmouth. Hard.
Because of the hoof prints.
Exactly. They find horse hoof prints near Fielding's body, and the shoes have Sidmouth's initials etched into them. It looks like slam-dunk circumstantial evidence. He's arrested right away.
So there's a formal inquest with the coroner and justice?
Yes, Mr. Carpenter the coroner, Mr. Dobbin the justice, and Sidmouth's friend, Mr. Dalglish, tries to give him an alibi.
Tries.
While he passionately claims they were together all night, doing things that should not disgrace a gentleman, but he won't say what. He clams up, seems to get a warning look from Sidmouth.
That's suspicious in itself. Protecting Sidmouth or himself.
Right, and the jury apparently found it amusing, the vagueness, which is sort of darkly funny, given the circumstances.
And then Miss Crawford piles on.
Oh, yes. She testifies that Sidmouth held a grudge against Fielding because Seraphine preferred the captain. She claims Sidmouth flew into an enormity of rage, paints him as violently jealous.
So the evidence is stacking up against Sidmouth. But Jane, she hesitates.
She does. This is where you really see her intellect at work. She has this gut feeling, this intuition that Sidmouth is not guilty, or at least that he's being intentionally restrained. Something doesn't add up for her, so she decides to do her own deep dive.
Not relying on the official channels or the gossip.
Exactly. She uses her own methods. Observation, conversation, putting the pieces together herself, just like she dissects character in her novels.
First stop, the jail. She confronts Sidmouth.
And he denies it, of course. But he gives her a crucial piece of information. He says Fielding lured Seraphine out to that lonely spot using a fake message, supposedly from a royalist contact.
A fake message? How?
It was marked with a white lily, and Sidmouth explains the lily is Fielding's symbol. He calls Fielding Le Chevalier, the knight. You know, like the fleur-de-lis, the French royal symbol.
The white lily again, the same symbol found near Tibbit's body.
Exactly. Sidmouth also mentions his cousin Philippe, Seraphine's brother, who was a royalist spy, is actually alive, though badly wounded. This opens up this whole other dimension where French royalists, spies. It's suddenly much bigger than Lyme smuggling.
So Jane leaves the jail with more questions than answers, I bet. Where does she go next?
She goes to see Maggie Tibbit, the widow of the hanged man Bill.
And what's Maggie like?
Jane observes she's practically a walking advertisement for the smuggler's trade.
Yeah.
She's blunt. She confirms Bill was a spotter for smugglers. He was paid to deliberately lose a ship, the Royal Belle, let it run aground.
Paid by whom?
Well, Maggie believes the Reverend, and she clearly thinks that Sidmouth never forgive Bill for messing up or maybe betraying him and had his blood for it.
So Maggie thinks Sidmouth killed her husband, even though the official verdict was death by misadventure.
Right. A stark contrast. 2 deaths, 2 white lilies, Sidmouth implicated in both, but Jane feels doubt. What connects these deaths beyond Sidmouth?
The lily seems key. What does Jane do with this?
She gets bolder. She decides to investigate Highdown Grange physically. A midnight exploration.
Seriously, Jane Austen sneaking around at midnight.
Apparently so. She finds a hidden tunnel leading from the Grange down to the beach, conveniently near where Captain Fielding had his garden.
A smuggler's tunnel, obviously.
Clearly. She overhears some smugglers, Dick and Ebb, talking inside. They mention moving typical contraband brandy kegs, tea, china leaf, even French playing cards, which were taxed.
And this confirms the smuggling operation. Does she learn anything about the Reverend?
She has a realization based on the goods. She thinks the Reverend must be a silk trader, and then the penny drops man of the cloth.
It's a pun. Clever. Using a respectable trade, or the name of one, as a cover, camouflage.
Exactly. It highlights how easily secrets could be hidden beneath respectable surfaces. It forces Jane and us to constantly question who people really are.
Okay, tunnel explored. What next? Seraphine must know more.
Jane thinks so too. She keeps pressing Seraphine. And Seraphine finally confirms more of her story. She was smuggled out of a French prison with her brother, Philippe.
The royalist spy brother.
Yes. Who it turns out is now actually embedded within Napoleon's army, still spying for the royalist cause. Seraphine is bitter about Fielding's death, calls it justice for something Le Chevalier did in passion. But she's vague, maybe out of shame, maybe loyalty.
But does Seraphine give Sidmouth an alibi for the murder night?
Crucially, yes. She confirmed she was at the Grange all night, serving guests who were actually the smuggler's crew waiting for a run. And she points out that any of Sidmouth's 8 horses could have made those prints, especially his big horse, Satan, because both horse and rider are large.
Undermining the main evidence against him. So, if not Sidmouth, Jane's suspicions must be shifting.
They crystallize onto Mr. Crawford, the fossil collector. Think about it. His seemingly innocent knowledge of Sidmouth's unique horseshoe marks suddenly looks suspicious. Why would he know that detail unless he was involved? His supposed friendship with Sidmouth, combined with his eagerness to point the finger at him.
It starts to look like a setup.
Exactly. And Jane realizes Mrs. Barnwell's husband has a private smithy. He could easily have made replica shoes, put them on a different horse. Frames Sidmouth perfectly.
And the white lily, connecting Tibbit's hanging and Fielding's murder.
It points to something deeper than just smuggling rivalry. It links both deaths to the French royalist cause. Maybe Fielding wasn't just a suitor. Maybe he and Tibbit were involved in the political intrigue, and Crawford wanted them silenced, using the smuggling conflict as a cover.
So Crawford isn't just a charming fossil hunter. He's likely the real villain, manipulating everything.
That's Jane's conclusion. Crawford wanted Sidmouth out of the way, maybe to take over the smuggling, maybe for political reasons related to the royalists, maybe both. It's a complex motive.
It's moved way beyond a local crime now. So Jane figures out Crawford's plan.
Yes. She realizes Crawford plans to intercept Sidmouth while he's being moved, likely by boat, and kill him. Finish the job, eliminate the loose end.
And Jane, she doesn't just sit back.
No way. This is where she becomes truly heroic.
Yeah.
She races back to that secret tunnel, trying to stop him. It's a genuine race against time.
And then there's another surprise arrival.
A big one. Lord Harold Trowbridge appears. He's known to be a spy for the British Crown. He joins Jane, seems to understand the situation instantly. A very unexpected ally.
So they get to the tunnel. What do they find?
The climax. Crawford is there, holding Seraphine hostage at gunpoint. Sidmouth is there too, along with the wounded brother Philippe and some other Frenchmen. It's incredibly tense.
And Jane Austen saves the day.
Incredibly, yes. Not with a witty remark, but with action.
Right.
She lets out this guttural yell, grabs Lord Harold's pistol, and just knocks Crawford out cold.
Wow. Author, detective, action hero.
It's an amazing moment. Shows incredible courage and quick thinking, far beyond what you might expect from her upbringing.
So Crawford is down. What happens to Sidmouth and the others?
They seize the moment. Sidmouth, Seraphine, and Philippe escape through the tunnel and out to a boat waiting in the storm. They signal their departure and disappear into the night.
And Lord Harold. And Crawford.
Lord Harold plays it cool. As the dragoons the soldiers arrive, alerted by the commotion probably, he uses the unconscious Crawford as a sort of shield, ensuring the others get away clean. It hints at his own complicated game, maybe protecting assets or managing the fallout.
What a resolution. So recapping this deep dive, Jane and the Man of the Cloth really shows Jane Austen applying her observational genius not just to manners, but to mayhem.
Absolutely. She untangles this incredibly intricate web. Deception, hidden loyalties, shocking revelations. She figures out who the Reverend really is, the sophisticated smuggling methods.
And the real motives behind the murders, Tibbit and Fielding. It wasn't just simple crime. It was tied into politics, betrayal, framing.
And we see how characters who seemed minor, like Dalglish maybe trying to protect Sidmouth, or Lord Harold playing his own game, and especially Crawford orchestrating it all, they were all part of this bigger hidden picture.
It really drives home how, even in that Supposedly prim and proper Regency era, you had these deep secrets, dangerous passions simmering just below the surface.
And it took real intelligence, real courage like Jane's to bring it all to light. Makes you rethink those honorable gentlemen, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Which leads us to a final thought for you, listening. In a world where, as the book suggests, honorable people might have dark secrets and noble words can hide lies, how do you tell the difference? How do you discern someone's true character beneath the facade they present?
And maybe, where do you draw that line between seeking justice like Jane did and perhaps seeking vengeance like some characters seem bent on? Something to think about.